Your daily dose of sports and fun. This is the Morning Drive Podcast from Double T 97.3, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
I'm Mike Hebert, owner of Cantex Roofing and Construction. Every day is game day, and we'll get it right when it comes to your roofing, construction, windows, and mirrors. Call Cantex Roofing and Construction today. Together, we are one serving you.
Jamie Lent, Jeff McGuire, I'm Chuck Heinz. NFL football from last night, and man, it seems like the parity in the National Football League just continues to get more and more parity. I was listening to Two Pros and a Cup of Joe getting ready this morning for work, and Brady Quinn said, you know, if the playoffs started today, Baltimore, Kansas City, and Cincinnati would not be in the playoffs.
Wow.
Wow, how about that?
Mm-hmm.
And Buffalo would be a wild card team, and New England now is atop their division. With the results of Week 6. So last night, the Falcons win at home over the Buffalo Bills, 24-14, and the Bears win at Washington, 25-24. A late fumble by Jalen Daniels leads to a field goal on the last play of the game, and the Bills win it, 25-24.
Bears.
I mean, the Bears win it 25-24. Right. The Bills were also playing, but and the guy for the field goal kicker for the Bears, I mean, he'd just come into them and gets a 38-yard field goal with time as time expired, and he'd had a field goal blocked earlier in the ball game. So kind of blocked. I mean, he hit it into the line. I'm not sure the defensive lineman would have had to jump. They jumped anyway. You know, instead of the ball hitting their hands, it hit him in the chest. Seemed like, so it was kind of a low trajectory. It's kind of one of those things, but it's that's kind of crazy, isn't it? When you think about just how the NFL's kind of spread around. You had a coach firing yesterday. Tennessee fired their coach Brian Callahan, which was kind of a weird hire anyway. I mean, to be honest, I'd never heard of him. You know his dad more than him because his dad was Bill Callahan, who coached Nebraska at one point in time. He kind of changed their whole trajectory of their philosophy in terms of how they did things, and it set them back a number of years because he changed their offensive philosophy and things, how they'd done things. And Bill Callahan was his son's offensive line coach, considered a really good offensive line coach, not so much as a head coach. And now Mike Vrabel, the guy that was just at Tennessee, he's now got New England kind of rolling, it seems, and they're back in first place in their division. So. And it feels like that there's some dominant teams. Maybe Tampa Bay is a dominant team. Baker Mayfield's maybe got a chance to win an MVP.
No, he's playing at a high level.
He is, and they beat the 49ers on Sunday, 30-19. So you got him that's playing really well. Indianapolis is playing really well right now. Daniel Jones has resurrected his career after leaving the Giants, and even the Giants. You know, their Thursday night win over the Eagles, 34-17. Just goes to show you, I guess, anybody can beat anybody on any given day, right, in the NFL.
Yeah, I guess so, if you don't play well.
Broncos beat the Jets Sunday, but, man, that's an ugly game, 13-11. So, and then kind of a surprising performance last night for the Bills in losing 24-14. Josh Allen didn't have a good day, 15-26, had a couple of picks, a couple of touchdowns. So, and then Michael Penix, who was, is their top quarterback for Atlanta. He was 20-32 last night, 250 yards and had a touchdown. But Bijan Robinson, man, that guy. And they've talked about him maybe potentially if the team was playing better as a potential MVP. And remember when the running back was like, oh, the running back's passé in the NFL. Running back may be back, with what Saquon Barkley did last year and what Robinson's doing this year. He had 170 yards rushing last night.
Yeah, it's still few and far between the guys that are drafted high like those two were and end up having massive years. I think you're still going to see teams continue to draft guys a little bit lower just because of the length of time of the career of the running backs. But those two definitely are really good ones and worthy of high picks like they were taken.
Yeah, so there's that. But then, like I said, I mean, the guy at Tennessee, he was only the coach for like a year and 5 games. So it wasn't a very long leash there for him. They changed GMs and changed front office people, and the new guy always wants to have his guy. But man, it gets expensive firing all these coaches. Maybe that's.
I think they're doing just fine.
Yeah,
the NFL teams are. I think any of them are scraping by.
No, and it sounds like the college teams are as well with regard to what Penn State just did in terms of they're not standing on the side of the road with a tin can looking for dollar bills or anything like that. They're probably past the plate with their big donors, and somebody wrote a big check to be able to pay James Franklin off at $49 million and the next guy that they want to hire, they'll have to pay him too, and then they got to pay all the players. So it's like, man, that's a total start over there, and for Penn State. The craziest thing from yesterday, I didn't realize this, but I've got to get this. But Nebraska's back in the top 25, and it had been years since they were in the top 25. Like, I don't know, 15 years or something like that. I mean, it's just crazy when you think about Nebraska, right? Mm-hmm. For them to be like on the outside looking in for so long, it's just like, how is that? But I guess it just goes to show you that college football changes all the time, and all this time has slipped by with Nebraska being on the outside of the top 25. It just stunned me when I heard that had been such a long time since they'd been in the return to the top 25 for Nebraska. So that's, I don't know, seemed kind of weird to me. 6:38 this morning here on the Morning Drive. A preseason top 25 basketball poll came out, Jamie.
Yes, it did. And
the Red Raiders find themselves at number 10. And, I heard you talking yesterday, and I agree with you. I don't know how good this team is. I haven't seen them play. But, from what you've heard from others, and we can kind of get into this a little bit more, it feels like 10's a low mark. It feels like there should be a little bit higher, but I have no idea because I just haven't seen them play. But with what you've got coming back and what you've added, it feels like that 10 is a good start, but it feels like, man, there's a whole lot of meat on that bone for this season.
Yeah, I don't necessarily feel like it's too high, too low. I just don't know. I know that you brought in a lot of players that other people wanted to, and then you brought back a couple that are special and really, really good players, and should be a great foundation. A good start for your team when you have two superstars like that coming back. So I think there's reason to understand why you're there at number 10, but at the same time, with almost a complete new team, there's reasons to understand why you're not there.
This is the Morning Drive Podcast from Double T 97.3, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
Today is Tuesday, October the 14th, 2025, and with this day in sports history, here's Jeff McGuire.
Starting in 1951, NFL Detroit Lions' Jack Christensen returns 2 punts for touchdowns versus the Los Angeles Rams. 1961, winless Texas Tech takes down number 21 TCU 10-0 in the first of 2 straight upsets of ranked teams.
Wow. So we'll have another one next week.
We'll have another one next week, I think. I found that one. 1965. Baseball World Series, Dodgers edge the Minnesota Twins 2-0 in Game 7 at Metropolitan Stadium. It's the Dodgers' third title since moving to Los Angeles. Your MVP? Sandy Koufax.
Okay.
1978. James Hadnot runs for 268 yards in the first of 2 200-yard efforts of the season as Texas Tech beats New Mexico 36-23. 1997 Major League Baseball National League Championship. Florida Marlins beat the Atlanta Braves 4-2. And in 2020, the NFL Cancels the Pro Bowl. And no one noticed.
You're not disappointed, are you?
I like the Pro Bowl. National Dessert Day.
Okay.
So go get something sweet after dinner.
Oh, just in general. No specific one.
Dessert Day.
Okay.
Not Desert Day. They're close. Mm-hmm. You have 2 S's in dessert. That way you can split it. Because you can split the 2 S's. That's the only way I can remember how to spell it. As opposed to desert, which you don't want to split the desert because that's a long walk in a very hot place.
Okay.
Usher, 47 today. Jared Goff, 31. Stephen A. Smith, 58. Brandon Wheaton, who probably still playing college football, is 42. Stacy Keebler, 46. Joe Girardi.
I thought you were going to say DiMaggio.
No,
he's
no.
dead.
He's been dead for a while.
Yeah.
51. And Jerry Glanville, 84. Old Falcons coach.
Okay. Didn't know he was still alive.
And on this day, 1947, U.S. Air Force Captain Chuck Yeager becomes the first person to fly faster than Chuck Heinz' Pinewood Derby car. That would be breaking the sound barrier. And that's this day in sports history.
This day in sports history. Just one clarification on my Nebraska note. It's been 9 years since they were ranked in the top 25.
Clarification.
In other words, correction.
Correction.
Yeah, correction.
I wanted to clarify. By 15, I meant 9.
9. Yeah, I meant 9. Yeah. And
See, that's what's funny. He wants to clarify that one, but not how fast his Pinewood Derby car went.
I just went by, what the
500 miles an hour. Yeah,
it was, I think,
at sea level.
342, I think is what it was. Yeah. 6:48 this morning here on the Morning Drive. Thoughts, comments, Yates Flooring Center chat line. Go to WT973.com for that, of the mobile app. This from the Yates Flooring Center chat line off the WT973 mobile app, presented by Happy State Bank. Maybe Cam Dickey has another 200-yard performance just like Hadnot did years ago.
That'd be cool.
That'd be cool.
I'd be here for it.
I think I'd be surprised if that happened, right? Against Arizona State. I think that'd be a little bit of a surprise to see if that would happen. So the smoke around Bill Belichick continues to swirl with him leaving North Carolina. It sounds like it's just chaos there. He's denied rumors he's been looking for an exit, and now has doubled down on his belief that his process will eventually lead to a winning team. He said this: reports about my looking for a buyout or trying to leave here is categorically false. There's zero truth to any of that. I'm glad I'm here. We're working towards our goals. We believe very much in the process. We just need to keep working and grinding away, and that's exactly what we're doing. Okay. I still don't think it's going to go well there.
I don't know who in the world thought from the get-go that Bill Belichick was going to work at this level.
Yeah.
I did not. I thought it was crazy that North Carolina hired him.
Yeah, and now
it's almost like they were looking for a story more than they were just really winning.
He's doing a great job of tarnishing his legacy. With all the stuff off the field.
So you going to be a Hall of Famer?
Well,
yes.
Yeah, he's going to be a Hall of Famer.
His legacy is fine. This will be a footnote to his legacy.
That's a crazy footnote, though.
Yeah, fair.
I mean,
fair.
It's a really crazy footnote.
I show you Joe Namath.
Bill Belichick's legacy is one of the greatest head coaches in NFL history. Has always been, but there's like not an asterisk, but also with him, and that he's so, just snarly and, doesn't seem to, even though his players played hard for him, just nobody really ever, got along great with him. And I just think that this is just more of the same, I guess, really, to be honest with you. I mean, I don't think the girlfriend thing is hurting his legacy. I think if he goes to North Carolina for 1 year and it goes terribly, then that's something that you remember. I don't think anybody cares about the girlfriend thing, as crazy as it is.
It is crazy.
Yeah.
So yesterday, at their media session, it was attended by the university chancellor, the athletic director, and a host of other high-level administrators. This article says something unique for a mid-season news conference. Yeah. If that happened here, we'd be all like going, "What in the world's going on?" And I'm sure anywhere else in any college campus, if the chancellor, the athletic director, and a host of high-level, administrators showed up, you'd be like, "Oh, okay, what's
during a mid-season?"
Yeah.
Yes. We've seen him for the opening press conference.
Sure.
We've seen him for the last one of the year.
But like
yesterday,
a standard Monday, right?
Yeah, yesterday would have been weird.
Belichick says it's a learning curve. We're all in this together, but we're making a lot of progress, and the process eventually will produce the results we want. They have everywhere else I've been. Yeah, well, not everywhere, Bill, but I mean, they've got strife in the locker room. They've got discontent. They've got, oh man, it seems like it's just an utter mess. But I don't know. I guess that's their deal. Somebody says it will cost $30 million to fire him. Yeah, I don't think they've got that. And somewhere Mac Brown's going, and you guys got rid of me. Mm-hmm. And you guys wanted me out. You thought I was an old fogey. Yeah, I was a kook. Not so much. David writes in this morning, I don't want to jinx anything, but Friday I was thinking how great it is right now that I haven't heard anyone mention the win Saturday would mean Tech was bowl eligible. How great is it that everyone has such higher expectations looking for so much more? Yeah.
Either I guess Jamie didn't, but did you hear the post-game press conference with the coach? With Level, he said, bowl eligible, and basically Joey McGuire basically said, "Man, we're not even worried about that. We've got higher goals for it." Like just immediately,
screw bowl eligibility.
Yeah.
That's what he told Level. Yeah.
Okay.
The Morning Drive podcast from Double T 97.3 is presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
We heard in SportsCenter Coach McGuire talk about not being concerned about Baron Morton not getting reps this week because of just the kind of quarterback he is in preparation, and he doesn't necessarily have that need to be out there. And he had referenced yesterday Jacob Rodriguez as a guy last week that wanted to make sure he got his reps in so that he got kind of everything kind of clear in his head. And, everybody's a little bit different when it comes to whether they're coming back from an illness or sick or maybe injury or whatever. So Morton's not necessarily that case. But here is Joey McGuire with just a basic Baron Morton update as of yesterday.
He feels a lot better than what he did after the Arkansas Pine Bluff game. And so we all know, I mean, I've said it a million times, and I don't know if there'll ever be a player like him, but that dude's the toughest kid I've ever coached. He's pretty, his pain tolerance and just toughness and care factor is really high. So he's day to day. We'll see how he feels.
So day to day is kind of how you feel about that, and probably day to day, Jamie, up until Thursday. And if he can go on what they term their Fast Friday before they leave for Tempe, then he'll play on Saturday.
Yeah, I think the fact that he says that he feels better than he did after Pine Bluff when he came back and played, clearly, that has me super confident that he's got a really, really good chance to be out there playing for you on Saturday. I think at this point I'll be surprised if he's not.
Yes, I think I agree with you on that.
Anybody else get a little twitch when the head coach says day to day?
Yeah.
We've heard that a lot.
A little PTSD.
A little bit.
It's funny because
a little flashback there.
I was listening to Tech Talk last night as I was driving around, and they do their version of This Day in Sports History at 3:45, and it was, I guess, yesterday going back to the 2012 season. On that date, that Texas Tech beat number 4 West Virginia. The Geno Smith and Jace Amaro had a big game in that game, but he got hurt, And that was it until the bowl game. And, we'd have Coach Tuberville on I think he'd be on every Thursday morning with us, and we'd ask about Jace. He's day to day. He's day to day. He was day to day up until the bowl game, and then he got himself kicked out of the bowl game.
I hate that I remember. Jace Amaro was such a terrific player for us. All I remember over that whole ordeal, I barely remember the day-to-day thing that you guys remember. All I remember is being at the bowl game the day before, them having a practice, and him talking to the media and crying. Jay's crying because he felt like he let his teammates down because he was hurt. He couldn't be out there with the team to help them try to win these games, blah, blah, blah. He put it on this sob story, and, we all bought it. It was like, man, that guy really cares about his teammates. That guy, it killed him not to be out there playing with his team. And then the next day, he pulls back and punches a guy in the back of the end zone and gets ejected from the game.
In the first half.
Really hated not being out there with your teammates.
Yeah, right.
No, my day-to-day trauma comes from Cliff Kingsbury.
Yeah.
When the status of every dead or alive Texas Tech athlete who has bell eligibility left is day-to-day. Because we can figure out reincarnation tomorrow so they can come back.
It almost makes me want you to go grab a Coach Kingsbury soundbite from the past when he would say, you'll know who he is when he trots out there in terms of the starting quarterback. We'll see if Baron Morton. I expect him to trot out there. All right, here's Coach McGuire with a Skylar Gill-Howard update for us.
Skylar is a little bit different. Skylar, we'll know a lot more by Thursday. We're trying to get everything set up, and Mike and Crawford do a great job with this, but we want to send him to his ankle. We want to send him to an expert in Dallas, to see, how fast we can get him back and exactly what possibly, we need to do. And so he's going to be a little bit more questionable, like if he can go, and especially whenever depends on how far out that appointment is. Like if it could be Thursday, and so we'll see. Those as far as kind of everybody else and that I can think of. We're football banged up. You're always going to have bumps and bruises and not feel great, and then by Tuesday you're feeling a lot better. Mike says it all the time, movement's medicine, and by the time they get to Tuesday and with the facilities we have to get guys to feel a lot better, they feel pretty good.
So it kind of sounds to me like Skylar Gill-Howard's a little bit of time away.
Yeah, that would be my guess. Yeah, I think I'm with you there.
But better than what we thought maybe when he left on the cart, because when he left on the cart, you're thinking
in an air cast.
You're thinking you're done. Yeah, so
maybe done for his college career.
Yeah, so kind of feel like that maybe you dodged a little bullet there, and then like you said, with the way that AJ Holmes played, you just have to hope that he can kind of keep things going in that direction. So, and then I guess that's the new term, football banged up. We're just kind of football banged up, and it sounds like
it's good. I think that's pretty good and descriptive.
Yes, I agree. Yeah,
I like it.
And it kind of sounds like even a little bit more, though he didn't elaborate on what his problem was, but it sounds like Jacoby Williams just wasn't totally 100% going into the game on Saturday. Just from what you heard after the game on Saturday about him not being quite able to go, and then once Cam Dickey got hot, well, he had the hot hands, so keep feeding him the ball, right? No reason to change that. And but it does sound like that he got a little dinged up with something, and just wasn't at full speed. So that's a little bit of an update on that. 7:22 this morning here on the Morning Drive. One of the things that Coach McGuire said yesterday, he talked about, the game on Saturday, and said it was their best game penalty-wise, with the exception of the two unsportsmanlike penalties on the fans. And he said the one pre-snap penalty that Texas Tech got was on the quarterback more than anyone, and that was right after Will Hammond went in there, and he's just, kind of trying to get settled. Mm-hmm. So that was it was on him, much more so than being on the offensive line, where they've had some stuff like that. But he did say again, especially with his defense, and I think with his team in general, that they have so much more another gear, and then that we haven't seen this team top out. And I think that's accurate. I think that's an accurate description. I think you feel like offensively that you have more out there. From a defensive standpoint, I guess as the teams get better, we'll find out. But man, it's hard to look at this and go, yeah, they can play better than they did, and they probably can. But you had 9 sacks on Saturday. It's crazy to think that your defense can play better, but it probably can.
Yeah, I feel like any coach would, after any game, would say that his team, can still play better. There's still things that we didn't do perfectly. I feel like with our defense that you've seen great play. And there may be tweaks here and there, play here and there, whatever. Obviously, you had 2 completely blown coverages on Saturday that cost you touchdowns, right? Mm-hmm. And so you wouldn't say by any stretch of the imagination that they were perfect on Saturday. But for your offense, I feel like the last 3 weeks, truly you could say that the offense could be way better than they have been, right? You still have won by large margins. You've still put up good numbers, right? Getting into the 30s and the 40s. But at times you've struggled in the red zone. At times you've hurt yourself with penalties. And as good as it's been, and I think it's been good, I think we all can see that at times it's there was a lot more there. Mm-hmm. And so when I look at the 2 units for Tech, I'm looking at the defense and going, man, I don't know how you get much better than they have been, because they've been so incredibly good, right? But I think you look at the offense and say, yeah, the offense definitely could be better than they have been. The talent is there for them to be even better than they've been.
Yeah.
Your daily dose of sports and fun. This is the Morning Drive Podcast from Double T 97.3, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction. Jamie's question of the day on Double T 97.3, presented today by someone not named Jamie, is brought to you by Connecticut of West Texas.
Alrighty, guys. Giving Jamie a day off here of having to come up with a question.
So
Texas Tech football is ranked 7th in the country. Mm-hmm. Your highest ranking since?
2008.
2008.
Okay.
It's going to stay that way no matter what, unless Texas Tech gets ranked number 1.
Yeah, because number 2 was as high as you got, right?
You got number 2 that year. So, with that being said, there's going to be a lot of comparisons between this year and 2008, and rightfully so. Mm-hmm. Both really, really good teams with a chance to win. We've already discussed how this year feels different than 2008 did. Mm-hmm. You don't have the Oklahoma State, the Texas, the Oklahoma games back to back, getting ready for it, the build-up for it, the excitement. So what my question for you today is, what would it take for you to be as or more excited for this football season than you were in 2008?
Okay, I think after 6 weeks, I'm more excited about this team than I was the 2008 team. I feel like I'm more invested in this team than I was in 2008. 2008 we had a lot going on. Just felt like we had more. Just personally, we had a lot going on. Me, but I feel like that the 2008 you peaked with obviously the Texas game and then the Oklahoma State game, and then it came crashing down very quickly with the OU game. I feel like with this team, you're not necessarily going to peak. Well, and even if you get to the Big 12 championship game, I don't think that's the peak, because I think the peak could be hosting a playoff game. So I think you got a lot left here to be excited about.
The question again is
what it would take to be as or more excited for this year's team than you were for 2008.
Okay, so in short, I'm already more excited about this year's team than the 2008 team.
I am already very, very excited about this team, or I'm thoroughly enjoying what we have going on. I don't think. I mean, if we get to a Big 12 championship game, I'll be crazy excited. I'm crazy excited now. But you want me to be honest. Those guys in 2008 were here as Red Raiders the whole time. And things are different now in college sports. You beat a rival like you did the way you did. After that night, I can't imagine. I mean, again, I want this team to win every game. I'm excited that they're here, that they're all bought in as Red Raiders, okay? I just felt different about college sports previously, especially when it comes to certain sports that the transfer portal rules things. Man, I don't know that you could have ever beat the excitement of that 2008, Saturday night against Texas, unless it's winning a Big 12 championship game or winning a national championship. I think my excitement would be higher for those things. But man, I don't know. Again, I just feel differently about things now, the way we do things in college sports now. But so I guess the simple answer to your question, Jeff, is winning the Big 12 championship game. At that point, I probably would say that outdoes what happened in 2008.
I'm kind of in that same boat. Undefeated regular season, Big 12 championship game, win Big 12 championship game, because the thing about 08 is you had A&M, you had Oklahoma State, you had Texas, and you had Oklahoma. All four were good. You'd already beaten Nebraska. In fact, Nebraska was your Week 6 game. So you'd gone through a gauntlet and come out on the other side of it. We see this year's schedule, and there's some good teams that we still have left to play, but we're also kind of saying, well, how good are they? How good are we? We think we're really good.
I do.
But how good are we compared to everybody else? In 08, around this time, around Week 6, Week 7, you're like, this team's got a chance. And it's, while we're saying the same thing, it's got that different connotation to it. One, because that was the first time that we were really saying in forever that this team had a chance. But you don't have the other side of that coin. You don't have the Texas looming or the A&M looming or the Oklahoma game on the road.
Yeah, it stinks that we don't, to get it to 2008, it would almost have to be like TCU or Baylor would have to be great.
Yes.
And on our schedule.
Yeah.
And we really don't have that. If you're just talking about that, the Texas game moment, right?
It's hard. It's going to be almost impossible to top that moment.
But if you're looking at the entirety of the season, for whatever reason in my mind, like just getting to the Big 12 championship game wouldn't do it, but winning it would, because we've never done that. To be able to say we're the Big 12 champs.
Yeah.
We've never done that. I don't think we're all going to be like, hey, we were the Big 12 runner-up. No. We were Big 12 champs. Being the champs would do it. Again, I think things are different in college sports now that have changed things. Those guys, that was, where we were then was as an underdog, so to speak. We're not an underdog anymore.
We're not the underdog.
Yeah. And you know what? I'm having fun not being the underdog. I'm having fun. Don't get me wrong. I'm having fun. It's what this program has put together is really impressive. They're fun to root for. Good guys, all the above. Seem like really good dudes. So, this is it's fun being the favorite too. No doubt.
The Morning Drive podcast from Double T 97.3 is presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction.
token hockey reference for this morning. Hey, good morning with Jamie Lent and Jeff McGuire. I'm Chuck Heinz, come to you from the First United Bank studio. Thoughts, comments, Yates Flooring Center chat line, Visual Edge IT hotline.
Isn't it funny how I would describe us all as not NBA or NHL aficionados, maybe even fans, right? Yeah, we
trying to be a Stars fan.
Okay, yet we all have, or I don't know, maybe I should speak for you guys too. I do at least have hardcore respect for hockey fans.
Yes,
and the guys that play hockey.
Mm-hmm.
Yet when we talk about the NBA, it's usually despairing. It's really not their. I don't have an issue with the NBA fans. I don't have an issue, but we usually talk disparagingly about the players,
about the NBA,
the league itself, and the players.
Just the whole thing.
Yeah.
Well,
no, I think I sit in that same seat.
Man,
crazy respect for the players and the fans. I really wish that there's a part of me that because there's so many traditional things about hockey that you would think that I would embrace just because I embrace those kinds of things, but I just never got into hockey as a kid.
It just always shocks me of how passionate I was at one point in my life about the NBA. And now there's just so many characters that rub me the wrong way that I can't get behind it at all. I can't.
Yeah, no, I understand that.
I keep wanting to kind of get back to it, and I just don't.
I've been wanting to do this for several years, where I start paying attention to hockey earlier, because I like playoff hockey. I love the excitement of playoff hockey, but I feel guilty getting on at the end of the train ride.
Yeah.
I need to be there. Puck drops at 8:30 tonight for home opener for the Dallas Stars.
There you go.
All right, this from the Yates Flooring Center chat line. What has me just as excited about this team as always is that we clearly look like the best team in the conference. That wasn't the case then. Would it be the case if Oklahoma and Texas were in the Big 12 right now? I think you'd say you're right there with them. Also, the expanded playoff gives us a clear path to playing meaningful football late into the year. Yes, I love that last line because I completely agree with that.
After what we've seen in recent weeks, I think I would say that I would look at the Red Raiders and rank them ahead of the current Longhorns and current Sooners.
Okay. That's right. I mean, I'm not going to disagree with you.
I'm not saying you're blowing them out or anything like that.
Yeah.
But
it would definitely you've definitely shrunk the talent gap between the two teams.
No question about it.
Yeah.
No question about it.
What does it take to host a home playoff game? Be seeded 5 through 8 in the college football playoffs, because then you'll be hosting. Somebody says Raiderville, not Tent City. Come on. I mean, we're thinking.
Yep, that's my bad.
We're thinking on the fly here, and we're trying to go. I mean, it's been a while since you've had a Raiderville, and maybe you'll have a Raiderville for the BYU game, Jamie.
We've had some for basketball.
I know, but I'm talking about for football.
Yeah, I don't think we've even touched on that year. The student attendance that was in the stadium and rocking and ready to go so early the other day had them having to turn students away, right?
Yeah.
Which is a great problem to have, but at the same time, so disappointing for those students. But it sets a precedent. Hey, man, if you want to get here, you better get here early.
Yeah.
You better get here early.
Well, I told you and I were on Optimum Game Day Live from 2:30 to 4, and when I walked by the student gate, there were already students in line. It wasn't a big line, and it was about 5 hours before kickoff. But I would imagine the next home game, even though it's Oklahoma State, that you'll have a line out there way earlier than that. And who knows, maybe you'll have a little Raiderville set up for that, which I think that'll be great. And Raiderville with a purpose.
Raiderville with a purpose.
Yeah, because you mean something.
Yeah, I mean the other ones have had a purpose too.
Yeah, no, I understand that, but I'm just in this era, in the McGuire era.
Coach McGuire is gonna just love that.
Absolutely.
When it happens,
absolutely.
Coach he may grab a sleeping bag and go out there and sleep with some of those guys. I can totally see it. He may be sitting around a campfire.
Those kids will lack for nothing.
Coach McGuire will love it. Yeah.
There's so many times in years past, fans complained about not being able to adjust to what the defense gave us. Couldn't control the clock or run effectively. Now we can, and people are complaining we don't throw enough. If we don't have to throw it 30-plus times and can win by 20-plus, do it.
Complaining we're not throwing enough?
If we have red zone woes and winning by 20 points plus, it's not a huge concern. Somebody had said prior to that, the passing game just isn't what it has been in years past. I know the game plan was to establish the run versus KU. I think this is leading to red zone woes if the defense loads up against the run. Need more passes to the middle, tight end slants. Well, that's why you need Baron Morton to be healthy, because I mean he is on target with that kind of stuff, and Will Hammond is still working on that kind of stuff, right?
Yeah, I think you're a better passing team with Baron Morton in there now on any given day. I mean, we saw Will Hammond be terrific against Utah a few weeks ago throwing the football, but I think for the most part, you're a better team when Barron is in there, because obviously you have great running backs, and so you can be a good running team. But Barron with his receivers, the passing game has clicked more consistently with him in there compared to Will Hammond.
If there was a top 25 for sports radio shows, do you think you guys would be top 25?
I think we'd be just on the outside.
Receiving votes
of the top 100.
I think this radio station in the Big 12 would be in the top 3 of the 16. I'm not sure about this show. I mean, this show probably keeps it from being number 1.
What station is better?
Yeah, which 2 are better, Chuck?
I don't know. I'm just saying. I think we're in the top. Think we're in
Jayhawk 97.3. You think they're better than what we are here?
There's not one up there.
That's
that exists,
right. So we're already better than them.
We're better than them.
Utes?
I'm just thinking about
Utes 100.7.
I don't know.
They can kiss my tail.
I mean,
okay.
There's probably some station in Salt Lake that's really buttoned up.
It's really buttoned up.
Right.
It's probably somebody that gets into Boulder from Denver.
Bear 97.3 can't even talk Bear football all day long. They got to go to national stuff.
I got to tell you, man, when I was doing a lot of high school games, junior college games, I used to love listening to 85 KOA.
People in Houston don't even know they have a college team there, okay?
That's true. Okay, so we're number 1. We're number 1 in the Big 12.
Dang right we're number 1 around here.
This show keeps us, just outside of...
We keep us from being in the top 1 in the country, but yeah.
We're in the others receiving charitable votes category as far as this show goes.
Yeah, that's exactly right. That's exactly right.
People are diving into the AP voter that voted for us. What is this guy?
We're the Nebraska.
What's this guy doing?
We're the Nebraska. I mean, 9 years ago, 10 years ago, this show was probably, before me, was probably, substantially better. And now we're just finally receiving votes. And so we're the Nebraska of the radio business top 25.
This has been the Morning Drive Podcast, presented by Cantex Roofing and Construction. Check out our library of Double T 97.3 podcasts at doublet97.3.com.